How was that damn flight, bro?
I don't think it was too bad. I don't know. Had a lot of movies to watch, so it was good.
You know, yeah, I was trying not to get jet lag, so I tried to stay awake the whole time because we were gonna land there at night. So I was trying to stay awake during the flight, so you know it wouldn't affect us so much. And
one thing that Marcelo told us was to stay up on the flight, so this way when we get there, we're not jet lagged. That's a mistake that I made at the Europeans this year. I got jet lag, so it was good I didn't make the same mistake.
Yeah, actually I fell asleep for like a half an hour. I was like, oh shit, no. So I got upset and mad about that, but that wasn't too bad.
The worst part was probably for me was starving myself on the plane. You know, it's like a 12-hour ride. You have nothing to do except watch movies and then sit in the seat, just eating nothing.
And then everybody around you is eating a bunch of stuff. They brought like pasta and everything. I'm like,
yeah, it was worse. But which is pretty cool was Homeland Baja was on our plane. I mean, that was a pretty cool experience, I guess. I mean, we didn't really talk to him or anything.
You were just eating whatever the flight attendants gave him, though. I was surprised at that. I thought like he would be more like strict and bring his own food, something like that. But
yeah.
Did you guys have a lot of people on your plane that you knew, or?
No, I didn't. I actually didn't know anybody on our plane, but
people were trying to make friends with us.
Yeah.
But it was cool. They were nice.
we were already together, so I don't think we needed to like. Yeah. We really didn't socialize as much as we should, I guess. But what I saw different than what we did from a lot of other people. We brought our own food.
For sure.
Yeah, so I did that. On my flight, I was like, oh man, I was looking for someone because I didn't have anybody else with me, so I'm like, man, I could really use someone. And all of a sudden, I see like BJ Penn on the flight. I'm like, oh, maybe BJ Penn will just buddy with me. He'll sit in economy. He had first class. I'm like, will you sit in economy with me, just so I don't feel so alone? But yeah.
When we got there, I mean, it was pretty cool because when we got there, we ran into all the competitors.
They had a bus that took us for our flight. There was so many guys.
Yeah, every purple belt, every guy we were going to compete against.
Even black belts.
Yeah.
You didn't have that luxury of getting the bus, right?
I wish I could have said the same. I get out and I try to look for my, you know, they have your name and stuff like that. And apparently, like, I asked everybody and everybody had their name, but nope. There's like no Gianni Grippo, no name
you have
from
one
me.
of the guys with the signs looking for you?
So like some guy in like shorts and t-shirt comes up to me and is like, oh, do you need a cab? I'm like, yeah. So he takes me to like this basement with like no other cars. This car that we go into has nothing saying that it's a cab. So I was like, I can see how this is gonna go, but luckily I got to hotel safely. He actually took me to
your first experience.
No, what were you telling me about you were plotting the whole thing in your?
I was ready to like. I'm like, well, my bag is in the trunk, but I have this bag. As long as I have one gi with me, that's all that matters. But if I see he starts going down somewhere, I'm talking about like, okay, you know, if I punch him a certain way, I can knock him out. You know, hang on to the wheel, drive to the side, pull over, and then run.
So the first time I got to the arena was a day before weigh-ins, and I remember I was a little worried about my weight because I wasn't sure how the scales were in Abu Dhabi compared to the ones in the United States, but it was pretty much the same. And I ended up being half a kilo under. And but John on the other hand barely made weight.
Yeah, it was interesting. The one thing that they did that wasn't good about this tournament at all, they didn't check the gis. So I borrowed Gianni's A1 gi. I'm walking up there like this.
I gave my gi to like 4 different people.
I think I wore Aaron's belt, and I weighed in like 1/10 of a kilo under, something ridiculous like that. Yeah. And that was funny.
What was funny to me were there were so many other people that were way worse than we were. There were people that were going to compete the next day, and they're still 10 pounds over.
Well, we were like, oh my god, we're like a half pound over, and then DJ Jackson and Tim Spriggs are with us, and they get on the scale, and like, oh, 10 pounds over, not bad.
Yeah.
You know?
And that kid Jimmy also the same thing.
Yeah, even Darson. He's like 140 pounds. He's like, oh, I'm 10 pounds over. I'm like, shit. He's got nothing to lose anyway.
But Marcelo always recommends for us to always cut the weight. Lose the weight by dieting, not by cutting the water weight the day before, because you think it's going to affect your performance in the match, you know. And which I think it probably did affect a lot of those guys. You know, they probably didn't compete at their best potential. They could have.
When you see them weigh in, they were like dead. They were almost like passed out. But at least I feel like we felt like awake and, you know, alert. You know, so we didn't really lose much, and we were able to put it back on pretty easily. You know, but like. Getting to the arena I thought was pretty cool. You know, you go to all these like we were like spoiled out there because we can go to this New York Open. There's nothing wrong with it, but you know, it's like a lot smaller. It's crowded. You know, you go to the locker rooms and they're really dirty and you smell as bad. Yeah. But man, even when you go into the locker room, it like smelled really good in there. You know? For sure. The bathrooms actually, I'm like, I don't mind staying in here and just chilling out. But like the whole thing felt very professional and very clean, and it wasn't like running around, and you didn't feel like too stressed out being at the tournament. I felt like
even the bullpen, like I feel like one of the biggest complaints with IBJJF is like everyone's so on top of you, can't barely warm up. This had like mats, warm-up mats for each weight class at the bullpen, and had a big screen where you could watch like the instant replay, and so I thought that was awesome.
Like a picket fence.
Yeah, it was like
a white picket
red carpet.
I felt like it was like the movie Gladiator, you know? Yeah. They open the doors and then you walk on. Sure. Yeah, so we walk in the arena, and it was just like, you know, the Gladiator entrance, and I'm fighting this kid from Portugal, and I remember he kind of reminded me of John, compared to like just his attributes, his physical attributes, and
he didn't have the.
Yeah,
he wasn't as pretty.
He wasn't as beautiful as John.
All right, thank you.
But he had the curly hair and everything going, and the match started, and we started on the feet, and I was very aggressive, looking for hand fighting with him, looking for the 2-1 position that we always work in the gym, and you know, John, Marcelo always excel at that position once they have it. So I was fighting for that, but I remember he was able to get a really deep, like a really good grip on me, like a cross collar grip, like, and as we were standing, and he kind of got this side, this grip over here, and he kind of just hit me with a really strong inside trip. So
I got the takedown?
Yeah, he got the takedown on me because he was here and he was here, and he kind of just took me down this way.
Yeah.
And then I remember after that I was 2 points behind, and from there it was just me. I was just playing catch up the whole time, where I was just trying to sweep him constantly, and he was just very aggressive on top, very heavy. And one thing that I learned, one big mistake I did, was that I'm now used to defending really well from people passing to my right side, so with their left leg forward. You know, I really don't have much attacks from there. He kind of exposed that a lot in the game, where and he was doing this just the same pass the whole time, where he would just if I was in guard, he would just come by and he would just weave this.
Oh yeah, that one's pretty tough.
Yeah, and he would grab here and he just try to do this here, you know?
So what would you have done differently much?
Knowing
that he had that passing
I was able to get somewhere with him. I was able to get a deep half guard position with him passing to the left, and from the deep half guard position, Marcelo showed me this move before, where I get a way to get X guard. I was able to get the X guard on him, and I just couldn't finish it, you know, because the time was just during the end of the match.
For me, probably my favorite match was fighting this guy from UAE. I think he was even in their like Hall of Fame.
He's like on their wall.
Go figure. I just had lost like that tough refs decision 0-0 for my semifinal match. I was really upset about that. Kind of annoyed. I felt like I could have won that refs decision. Not that you ever want to win like that, but so I was annoyed at that. And then I'm sitting on deck for my third place fight, because you have to fight for third for this tournament. Sitting on deck for my third place fight, and this Sheik's son is fighting some other brown belt for the final, and I just see that brown belt get screwed over by the ref. He got a takedown, got 2 points taken away from him. He was still up an advantage. He pulls deep half guard. The ref gives him gives the Sheik's son an advantage when he has deep half guard, like no underhook, no flat, no nothing. So if that's bad enough, the score is tied, so you think, okay, he's gonna get the ref's decision at least. No, they give the ref's decision to the Sheik's son. I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm so angry. After seeing that, and after my ref's decision, I was just like, had a lot of like energy that I just wanted to just go no matter what. I remember looking across from me, and I see the guy's UAE. I'm like, man, I'm just gonna run at him and submit him. Like, I don't know what's gonna happen. Run at him.
We actually started laughing like in the middle of the match. We just started going crazy.
I saw. I remember we come out. I remember he was a wrestler. He took down everybody in the tournament. I didn't care. We shook hands. I was like, okay, let's go. I went at him so hard. He full guard on me right away. I landed in a good half guard position. I was able to get a good underhook and or head control. I pass the guard. And then from here, I just do my one setup that I like. I went to the north-south choke. I switched my grips to circle north-south, pummeled my hand under, walked around, and came for the north-south choke, and finished the fight right here. I think the fight was like 28 seconds or something like that.
Obviously, I think my most fun was just being in the final. I love how they had the whole setup. You know, the biggest thing I always wanted to be in was like a match when everybody's just watching that one match. You know, I kind of like that spotlight thing. And even when you're walking in, they had a spotlight on you. And sometimes people would be nervous, but I just thought that was, you know, that was awesome. And I felt like I was able to perform even better with that because my knee was killing me at that point. But as soon as they called our names to go out there, I was like, I don't feel this thing anymore, you know. But it was kind of some of the matches were kind of annoying because I feel like I get to the point where guys know what I want to try to do. They know I like the De La Riva and the Berimbolo, so they'll pull with me and we're in this double guard pull, and I'll be like attacking my game. But instead, their strategy is just to like so easy get De La Riva on me or something like that, and they'll just be like this, just extending their legs, kicking in the balls the whole time, and just refusing to go anywhere. I remember my first match was like that.
Just don't want to engage.
Yeah, the big key in the match was just getting to my left side, especially in the final, because the guy was just pushing away, and I'm like, it's a 6-minute match. You never wanted to let, once again, you know, you don't know what the refs, you don't want to get to like another ref's decision. So I just kept on trying to work to the left here. And after a while, I realized it wasn't going to be easy taking the back. So I started looking more for the leg drag. And constantly I kept rolling to my left, and I would come here. But I realized like he was defending the back well and he was kind of pushing away a lot. So after a while, I just started looking for the leg drag, and I would bring my knee behind, and I would come right behind here, bringing my knee behind. Eventually, I'm able to bring my other leg in and almost get like a figure 4 on his leg. But the biggest thing was just getting the leg drag first. Normally I always like to just come up straight to the back, but that wasn't too easy. So I just bring this leg behind and then start rocking him until his back would become exposed. Once I finally got to the back there, I was able to get one hook in for the longest time, but then the other, he was like refusing to get that hook, It's like such a pain in the butt, but finally got that, and it was finally able to get
Finish him with the collar choke, right?
Yeah, I finished. I don't know if it was a bow and arrow. I had to look at it.
Don't even remember.
Either it was a bow and arrow or, you know, just a straight cross collar choke. I'm not sure, but I remember he tapped.
That's good.
Overall, we had a great experience in Abu Dhabi, the three of us. I feel like we really bonded, right? We really did. It's true. But, you know, we also had Dominica here with us, which was great. You know, she's only 17 years old and she's an absolute killer. You know, she went out, competed purple, brown, and black with no fear at all. You know, she had to fight some really tough girls. She lost to a tough girl in her first round, but we know this experience is great for her, and she's definitely going to come back next year. She can get that money and that gold, I'm sure, because she's a hard worker and she'll get there. But it was great also having her and her dad there with us, you know, so it made the experience even better, so that was great.
That's true. And overall, this trip was amazing, down to how we were treated, what the Sheik sponsoring us for everything, the food, the hotel, everything was super organized, run on time. I know a lot of people complained about this tournament in the past about the scheduling and stuff like that, but this time it was done right. Like I said, the only complaint, I think we will all agree, was some of the controversial reffing decisions, which everyone knows about. And but overall, it was a pretty good tournament, pretty successful. Hopefully, more success next year. We can do it again.
And in the end, all three of us, all four of us, just have to thank Marcelo. None of it would be possible without him and without his help. And I think we can all say the same exact thing.
Yeah, for sure. Marcelo was a big influence and helped us over there dealing with overseas. I remember him giving us so much advice before we left, making sure we felt comfortable. And he was even we were in touch with Tachi on Facebook throughout the whole thing, updating her, and she was checking in on us. So it was good to have that support system back home, you know, even though we're all the way over there. So
Perfect. Bye-bye.
Kobe.